Hi, Husky Pups. I'm so excited. I just got a call from Ms. Batone, and she said, pack your bags. We're going on an adventure. So I have to pack my suitcase. She said, pack for all kinds of weather. We just studied weather, and I know this is what I want. I want to go somewhere where it's nice, so I better bring my sunglasses, and I better bring my sun hat. But the last few days, we've had sun and snow, so I better make sure that I take my gloves, and I better take some type of boots to keep my feet warm or dry. But I'm not sure where we're going. I love birds, so whenever I go on vacation, I always take a bird book and my binoculars just to make sure that I'm keeping track of all the birds to put in my journal. But before we can go on any vacation together, I have to get this video done. So if you'll bear with me, we'll discuss our vacation when we get through. I'm going to go now to our screen. These are our informational writing standards for the week. 3W2, write an informative or explanatory text to explore a topic and convey ideas and information relevant. 3W2A, include illustrations when useful for aiding comprehension. 3W2B, develop a topic with facts, definitions, and details. Throughout the week, you're going to hear the word ecosystem or biomes. Our first standard, when they talk about exploring a topic to convey ideas, they're talking about the main idea and the supporting details. An informational text gives facts about a nonfiction topic. The purpose is to provide information and educate readers about a subject. But dry facts can be boring. You need to write an introduction that will pique their interest and make them want to read more. A common mistake is to give all the information up front in the introduction. This discourages the reader from reading the rest of the text because they won't learn anything new. Your introduction should introduce the topic to your reader, grab their attention, and give them a glimpse of what they will learn from the text. One technique you can use is to ask a question. A great way for hooking your reader is by asking a question. This makes the topic directly relatable to the reader and invites them to consider the subject. Then answer your hook question in the following sentences. So this is an example. Everything in yellow is the hook question. In blue is the answer to the question. And then what the readers will learn is in the gray. How would you feel if someone took over your home? Not very happy, right? Well, that's just how the Powhatan tribe felt when Jamestown settlers took their land. Although tensions were high at first, eventually the settlers and Native Americans worked together to live and work in peace. So we had that hook question. How would you feel if someone took over your home? And then everything in blue was the answer. And in gray, what will you learn? This is a page right from the book that Ms. Batone read to you today. It was an example of a hook question. It asked, what groups are in the hierarchy of life? Well, the answer, it's an organism, is a living thing. It's part of population. That is a group of other things like itself. A population is part of a community. That is all the populations in the area. Communities and non-living things in an area make up an ecosystem. So this is the question that they asked. They answered it by giving you definitions and examples. These are the supporting details. And then this is what you're going to be learning about this week, about communities and non-living things in an area that make up the ecosystem. I also want you to notice on this page, they have this blue box with one of the vocabulary words, organisms, which also appear here. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But now for your first writing assignment. Think about the book Ms. Batone read to you today about the ecosystem. What hook questions could you come up with after listening to the book? Go back and listen to the story or reread the book on the epic and write down 3 questions you could ask to hook the reader about any of the ecosystems you learned about today. So make sure that you're writing down what would be a hook question. Question 1, question 2, and question 3. Now, a minute ago, I asked you to look at the organism blue box. I retyped it here because it goes along with including illustrations when useful for aiding comprehension. When you're writing a nonfiction text, you want to make sure that your reader understands what they're reading. Illustrations are a wonderful way to do that. Sometimes an illustration is a photograph. The vocabulary words that were on that page were ecosystem, community, population, and organism. And the word organism was re-explained here. So the other 2 standards we want to make sure that we're including when we're writing nonfiction are putting illustrations and definitions of the vocabulary words that are new to our reader, which will bring us to our next assignment. Think about the book Ms. Batone read to you today about ecosystems. What drawing or illustration could you come up with after listening to the book? Go back and listen to the story or reread the story on Epic and write down 2 new ecosystem vocabulary words and their definitions. Draw or illustrate something you learned today. Write 2 words and their definitions you learned today. So you have 2 writing assignments here. Now I want you to see how the ELA reading and writing standards are connected. When Ms. Batone read you the book on ecosystems, she talked about the main idea. Well, today we talked about the hook. The hook is the main idea, and everything that follows it should support that hook. Ms. Batone also talked about vocabulary words. Today we talked about vocabulary words, and they need to have the vocabulary words with the facts, definitions, and the details. And the third standard both used and talked about illustrations and how important those illustrations could be in the forms of maps or photographs, labels, diagrams. So have fun today with your writing assignments. And I can't wait to see when you upload them to your dojo accounts, your portfolios, and I'm sure your teachers can either. But now I've got to get ready and pack because I cannot wait to see you guys tomorrow and see the first place that Miss Batone is going to take me on my vacation. Bye-bye, Husky pups.